Today I'm going to talk about 5 terminologies which I think will be useful in learning languages. In this video, I'm going to talk about 5 concepts or terminologies in linguistics and psychology, which I personally think that would be useful and helpful in language learning, which are teacher talk, first of all, filler, body language, turn taking, IQ, EQ, SQ. The first terminology I believe will be interesting, at the same time very important, is teacher talk. Teacher, sensei, and talk. So what does this word mean? So teacher talk is a talk or the style of talk or speaking which sensei in a classroom use. For example, let's say you are in a Japanese classroom and you have a sensei. The Japanese that your sensei uses and the Japanese which you hear, which you encounter in a daily Japanese conversation will be different. Since your sensei aims to improve your Japanese language skills, since I am also sensei in Japanese language in a university in Georgia, we as a sensei tend to use more simplified vocabularies, simplified phrases or sentences, and vocabularies which are not that difficult for students. Let's say they are like beginners or intermediate levels, right? I won't use such complicated words because that would demotivate them, right? So what I want to express, what I want to say by explaining this teacher talk, this word teacher talk, is that the Japanese or languages in general, the target in general that the teachers say in a language classroom, and the target language which is spoken and used in daily conversation, not completely, but relatively different. So what I want to say is, if you take classes, we should know that it's good to kind of get used to teacher talk at the beginning, because otherwise it will be very difficult, if we are like thrown into the normal natural native conversation. I think 98% we wouldn't be able to understand it, but at the beginning it's fine to learn with the teacher talk, but eventually we have to dive into the daily conversation, like with the native speakers, in order to improve the target language skills more. So this is all about the teacher talk. The second terminology is filler. Filler. So this is a filler. Filler is, for example, well, so, let's see, these kinds of words that we in English that we use in between each phrases or sentences when we kind of think, or when we kind of prepare for saying something in the next. And one thing which is very interesting is that this filler is different in each language. In English, as I said, well, let's see, these are English fillers, right? But in Japanese, Japanese fillers will be these kinds of fillers. So if you want to sound and seem more native, it's important to learn fillers in the target language as well. And one thing is that these fillers are not written or described or taught in a textbook somehow. So in order to kind of catch fillers in the target language, we have to kind of observe the natural conversation, or kind of pay attention to what native speakers use in a natural conversation. If we master these kind of fillers in the target language, I think we seem more native, we seem more fluent. And learning filler is also very important. The third terminology that I want to introduce is body language. We all know about body language, but I really want to kind of pay attention to the importance of this body language in communication, right? There's one terminology which is called Mehrabian, principle of Mehrabian. So in usual communication, we pay more attention to the visual information than audio information. What it means is that the words, the phrases or sentences that we say, than this information, the visual information is more important than the words that we say, phrases and sentences that we say. For example, let's say, I love you, like looking at your eyes, I love you. Or, for example, I love you, I love you. The words that I'm saying are completely the same. I love you as a word. But how I said I love you and I love you are completely different. Looking at your eyes, I'm not sure if you're looking at my eyes, but you know how serious I am when I said like I love you than when I said I love you, from like looking at the completely different thing. So this kind of visual information and also body language that we use in daily conversation, in the communication, is very important. So first of all, as a listener, we have to pay attention to the body language that the speaker is using, despite of any languages. And as a speaker, we also better to use, to express our opinions or ideas or thoughts more well. So body language, I think paying attention to body language is very important to have better and friendly communication and build good relationship with people. So body language is very important. The fourth one that I want to talk about is turn taking. It's about when we have a conversation as a listener and as a speaker. Let's say you're the person I'm speaking to. I'm speaking now and you're listening to me, right? But when I stop, it's time for you to speak up, right? So this is called turn taking, the moment when we change the role as a listener and as a speaker. And when I speak, for example, Japanese, I try to speak, let's say, if I spoke around 30 seconds in a conversation, as a speaker, I would change my role as a speaker and change it to the role as a listener, and I will let the speaker to speak as much as I did, like 30 seconds or something. If the social status of the equal between me and the person that I'm talking to. What I want to say is turn taking is very important. If you just keep talking like for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or something, it's kind of very tired for the listener. So the length of turn taking differs according to the social status that we have with the person, first of all, and also I guess there's some kind of cultural factor as well. When I speak Japanese, I try to kind of speak and listen equally, but at the same time in Georgia, I think the length of turn taking is much longer than the average length in Japanese when I speak Japanese. So what I want to say is, first of all, turn taking is very important to kind of, build a good relationship with the listener or speaker or the person that you are speaking to. And also the length of turn taking can be different in society or cultural environment you are in. So studying, kind of experiencing or feeling about the time taking is also kind of useful in order to have good relationship or good connection with the people in that society. And lastly, last but not at least, the fifth one is IQ, EQ, and SQ. IQ, we all know that intelligent quotient. I think that was quotient. You know, how smart, how intelligent we are. But I want to pay attention to more attention to the importance of EQ and SQ. If you know these terminologies, it's good. EQ is emotional quotients and SQ is social quotients. When we learn a language, it's IQ is important. We need to have a strong memory, capacity of memory to remember lots of vocabularies and grammatical rules at the same time. But in order to have a good communication, good relation with the people, these EQ and SQ are, I think, as much as important as or more important than IQ. EQ stands for emotional quotients. So this is some kind of ability or capacity to not only to understand my own or your own feelings or thoughts, or more precisely feelings or emotions, but at the same time to ability to pay attention to the listeners or the persons that you are talking to, the person's feelings as well. Whether they are angry, they are happy, they are glad, they are tired, they are like thinking about something. And this kind of EQ is also, we can actually train that by kind of paying attention to body language or emotionally kind of sensitive. So if we understand the emotion of other people, it's very how can I say useful to have good relationship with other people. And also social quotient. This is like ability of reading a social context. And this social quotients, for example, in Japan. In Japan, the socially speaking, there are things that you are not really supposed to do or supposed to say. And this kind of social quotient is can be different from countries or regions or places or spheres that you are in, environments you are in. So we are also better to be sensitive, not sensitive, but kind of attentive about the socially what is important, what is not good to do or not good to say, and also what is welcomed in the society, in the environment. And this kind of ability is called the social quotients. And I think in order to have a good communication from friendship with the people, I think IQ is also important, but at the same time EQ and SQ are very necessary to understand what they are and kind of need to pay attention to. So in this video, I talked about teacher talk, filler, body language, turn taking, EQ, IQ, SQ. These are the terminologies that I actually think are very important in building good communication and having a very long-term positive relation with the people, which are also important in language learning, because you cannot learn a language by yourself all the time. You have to have a communication with the people, and you don't want to have negative ones, right? So yeah, that's pretty much for today. In these previous videos, I talked about I talked a lot about different kinds of terminologies, and as in this video. Hopefully these words and information that I introduced to you will be helpful and useful in your language learning. So yeah, that's pretty much for today. Thank you so much for watching. またね。